All right, I've got an architectural background. I did my studies at Tshwane University of Technology from 2005 till 2012, where I graduated with my master's. And during my studies, I did a lot of design competitions, including lamps and tap for Cobra and so on. And I realized that I've got a keen eye for smaller detail, and I like designing things at a smaller scale. So shortly after my studies, I worked for a small firm for 6 months. We had an arrangement because she knew that I was going to start my own company. So I started sourcing a workshop and some tools and everything. And what I got in the beginning was a workshop and a laser cutter. I didn't know what to do yet, but that's where we started. And we started with experimenting with different laser cut patterns and how we can apply different materials that's not usually designed together or combined together. So we experimented a lot with unorthodox materials, and we started off with 5x5 design, which was founded in 2013. And from there we developed small bags, and we did a lot of custom design furniture, which was all around, all across the board. And we started focusing on small designer handbags and leather bags. And what we tried to do is to combine leather and wood. And we launched our brand in 2014, a design in Durban, and we sold out on the second day, which was a huge success. So shortly after that, we decided that the bag should go on a company on its own, and NAVARRE Ebersohn was established in 2015. So after NAVARRE Ebersohn was established, I started experimenting again with larger objects, lamps and furniture pieces and custom work. And what happened was we did a lot of custom work, but it was too difficult to put it on a website because each one was different. So across the road from us was Lumar Fourie. He had the concrete corporation, and we started doing collabs together, experimenting with concrete and different types of wood and how we combine that together. And we did 2 or 3 jobs together, and we decided that it would be great if we can design products that people can buy off the shelf instead of doing custom work, because it's very difficult to advertise commissioned work. And that's where we established NAVARRE. So it was founded in 2017 by a combination of Lumar Fourie and NAVARRE Ebersohn. So that made NAVARRE. And it's been almost 2 years, and we've been having a lot of fun experimenting with different kinds of furniture pieces. And yeah, that's where we are today. I think what makes it different is that we experiment with a lot of geometry, and we don't necessarily design what is in trend now or in a trend. So a lot of times people might find it difficult to associate with a certain piece. So what we try to do is to create a timeless art piece or object, and we call it functional art pieces. So it's maybe a chair or a table, but if you put it in a corner or on a podium by itself, it should be able to act as an art piece or a sculpture. With the design background in architecture, we try to use material that is used for specific uses. So for instance, with the concrete, although it's a very heavy material or base material, we try to make it lightweight in a way. So we use it as a top or as a backing for a lamp, or something that's applied for in a different way instead of just a base for a table. I think the philosophy behind it should be that it's all about detail. It's all about it should last at least a generation. And it would be great if our furniture pieces could tell a story after 20, 30, maybe 50 years. I found a lot of inspiration through mid-century furniture pieces and things that I got from my grandparents, even that's where a lot of the leather bags and things started, because I found a leather bag from my granddad and it was already 50 years old, and I thought, wow, you know, this builds a lot of character, and it would be great if I can design things for myself and for other people that they can pass on to their grandchildren, and it will be still you know, beautiful and be practical in that era. The background architecture, it helps a lot. So everything starts with a sketch, an idea. A lot of times I would look at something that inspires me, a shape. It's not even maybe a furniture piece. It can just be two objects together, and I can almost see a picture of a table or a lamp or something. And I will do a quick sketch in my book, and it will probably lay sometimes for months there until I can figure out a detail of how that can work, or a use or application. And then after the sketch, we build a model to see if the proportions work. We do a 3D rendering to see how it can maybe look into place, and then the product at the end. Everyone gets designer's block, but I think what you should always do is just start drawing. Even if it's not something you can design, just start drawing, listen to music. So if you find yourself in a designer block, just start drawing, start building something. It doesn't need to be anything that's projectly related. If you need to design a table or a chair or house or whatever for someone, don't even do that. Just, if you've got Legos, build Legos, but just start doing that. And just by doing that, it will trigger something. Because a lot of times what people do is they sit there and contemplate, and they sit there, oh, I can't think of anything to do, but just start doing something, and it will automatically get into the process of designing again. I think light and simplistic design has got a place of its own. You get very nice and, well, very modern and contemporary furniture that's Scandinavian type of thing, that's very simplistic and clean designs. So it doesn't need to be run-of-the-mill type of things. Where detailed design, I think it's starting to get there's sort of a comeback to detailed design, because there's a lot of things, a lot of products being mass-produced all over the world. And I think it's that whole thing of identity where people want to be or get something different than someone else. So I think there is a space again for detailed design and people appreciating handiwork, and it's a sort of a renaissance, I don't know, that type of work where people spend so much time, where there's appreciation between, and it's also, I think between the detailed design and the, let's call it run-of-the-mill design, is you can immediately see the one is authentic, and you can look at the materials and you know it's true to its value. There's no plastic stuff. It's either wood or all natural, or type of materials that is used for that application. So the detail we apply in the furniture pieces is it's not an afterthought. So the detail that we bring out is a lot of times it's mainly for structural purposes. So how the timber joints, or how the concrete and the steel or the concrete comes together. And there's also a type of didactic work. So all the design actually reveals the construct of how it is put together. So when you look at a chair or a table, you can actually see how it is joined together. Okay, we use concrete because it's very resilient, it's strong, it's actually very cheap as a material, but what makes it more expensive is creating the cement and making it concrete, mixing it with stone, fibers, whatever, to become a shape. And concrete's very forgiving, so when you work with a shape or a mold, if there's a small chip, you can almost patch it up. And what's nice about it, you can form it in any way you want. I think timber is probably the most multifunctional of the four materials, where it's got very good compressive strength and tensile strength. So it's got the properties of steel, but it's much easier to work with timber than steel, because you can also laminate it, you can mold it, you can CNC cut it, you can stain it, you can do a lot of things with the timber. And it's also got a very nice patina to it when you finish it. Small business ownership in South Africa at this stage is very challenging. I've got respect for everyone that's got a small business and keeping it afloat. It's very competitive out there. Well, it also depends in what industry you are, but I think small business is in a creative industry. You know, because I think because creativity is something that you can, it's sort of a talent that you've got. It's something inside. And although you go study to go broaden your creativity and strengthen it, it's still people undermine creativity because a lot of people, it's inherent to them. So I think it's difficult to put a price on what your time is worth and your value of that. And a lot of people are not always willing to pay for what you think or what you should get. And as you grow as a designer and as a company, you should start valuing your own worth. And I think to find that balance is essential to run a small business.